Hi, my name is Jacqueline. This is the very first video for this channel, of which I believe the Lord has led me to speak to carers, those caring for young people, children, older people with special needs, specifically autism. Some years ago, I started talking about this topic on a different channel, but then I kind of turned into speaking more about faith-led, and I went into ministry. So on that channel, there's some topics that started, but I believe that the Lord is leading me to start this channel so that I can actually speak of my experiences as a carer, as a mother to two um, young men now, 15 and 19. Aside that, I'm a mother also to older ones, over 20. So today I just wanted to introduce myself. A mother living here in the United Kingdom. Um, as I said, four grown-up young men now. And I really just want to share my experiences with people out there because I'm finding that there is a need to share wholeheartedly from the heart, of which is what I'd like to do. And today I just wanted to talk about accepting a diagnosis, accepting that a child has a special need. Because I remember many years ago when my first one was diagnosed, honestly, I didn't even know. I saw behaviors that manifested with him under the age of 3, but I put it down to, because he was talking. So I put it down to, that is just who he is. That's just how he is. Um, Somewhere along the line, when he started school, they did see what I was saying, but they even saw more. And so they called the specialist teacher to assess him and send him, consequently, he was sent to a pediatrician who diagnosed him. I believe I was only partially prepared for what was to come, but that's another topic for another video. Second time, my now 15-year-old had several symptoms, and I had my own concerns. When I took him at 2 to see a doctor, the doctor said he is fine and bring him back maybe when he's a bit older. I see no concerns with him. He has all his developmental stages right, and so nothing. So sometimes the health visitors will also miss it or they'll dismiss it. So it's important to keep that in mind and to actually keep your conversation open with doctors and actually air your concerns and insist sometimes to actually have your child send further for further checks if you're really that concerned. But the point of this video today is that once a diagnosis is finally made, it is very crucial to actually accept the diagnosis. What do I mean by accept? Because a paper may be handed to you, or you may be told verbally that your child now has a diagnosis. But actually accepting that diagnosis as a mother, as a parent, as a father, is actually a different thing. And it's a different thing because you've heard and you've been told and it's on paper. But to come to terms with it is what needs to happen next. Because if we don't come to terms with it, it means that we are partially in denial or fully in denial still. And it may hinder us from seeking the support that we need for that child or for that young person, because some children are diagnosed at an older stage, some even at adults. And so if you're somebody whose child or young person was diagnosed when they were older, I would like to imagine that that is probably even harder. You may have seen some changes, some challenges with them. some different behaviors with them that you probably didn't do anything about, or you tried to do something about by way of maybe getting them seen. But the challenge in this country also is that when somebody reaches 16, it's now much harder to get a pediatrician to see them. I'll talk about that in another video. I had an experience of that, so I'll speak about that. But that accepting is the final thing that actually makes you say, okay, I need support now. This is what we are dealing with. You know, you can talk about it with family. You can now tell people who are close, people who you need, people who you feel that will be helpful for you when it comes to raising that child or that young person, people you can fall back on, people who you can actually talk to. And again, people who you can talk to will also be people who may have been in that situation before, are coming out of it, are in that situation, perhaps have a little more experience. Maybe some other mothers that also have people have children that are diagnosed, perhaps social workers, general practitioners, and anybody that you feel you could talk to, counselors, and so forth. This is what really leads to one surrendering and putting their guard down in that area, so to speak, because it's like saying, okay, I now surrender. God, I now surrender. I give everything to you. This is the same way. And if you're somebody who is also of faith, of which I totally believe my strength doesn't come from myself, that comes from God. And I will from time to time and always give everything to God because I'm a Christian. So I'm just saying that anybody who is going to watch this channel, you need to realize that I will from time to time mention God, mention Jesus, because that is who I give everything to. So I just want to put that out there. And also, once you have accepted, it's now time to also open the channels for other support for your children. What other support am I talking about? Financial support. If you're in a country that enables and gives financial support to those with disabilities, this is now the time that you'll be able to actually think about and come to terms with that and realize that actually it costs a lot more, probably 3 or 4 times more, to raise a young person or a child with special needs in comparison to a neurotypical child. It's actually a lot more. At first, I didn't believe it and I didn't see how. But as time went, when I became a parent, I now saw things that were happening. You've got to change probably clothes a lot more than anybody. You've got to probably buy things that break a lot more than anybody. The things could get destroyed a lot more easily, especially when they're young and when they're growing up. You've got medical treatments to go for. You've got to get onto transport. You've got to pay for taxis, or you've got to fill up your car to go more on trips. For some, it's even more than others. So definitely it will cost more. So that's the other thing about accepting a diagnosis. It's not the first, it's not the main, it's just one of them. The next thing is also for the carer or the person, or the carer and the mother or whoever is actually looking after that child or young person, because you now know that you know you're challenged, because you know that you have to get yourself ready for what's to come. You know, we are talking about the physical and emotional challenges, which we'll talk about later in another video. We have to look after ourselves better. So that will be mental preparation as well as physical preparation, and also emotional for that matter. So these are the reasons why I believe these are the first one that comes to mind as to why we need to accept a diagnosis. We can't continue being in denial. We cannot be in denial if we were ever in denial. We can't stay in a place where it places us to stay at a certain level and to not move forward for ourselves and for that child. So I really hope that this video has helped somebody. And if you have been blessed by what I've spoken about today, please subscribe to this channel and put on the notification bell so that when I come up with another video, you will be notified. Thank you so much. Your sister, Jacqueline. If you have any questions or comments, please do comment below. Send questions. And if you'd like me to talk about any other topic, also comment. We have to bring ourselves out into the open. I am prepared to talk candidly to certain levels, on one-to-one even. And yeah, so thank you so much. And until next time, bye-bye.